So this story begins in Seoul, South Korea. Actually, we can see that the cost of living in this city is very high, so people here tend to prefer secondhand items over new ones. Because when you buy new things, they cost more, and if they get damaged, the repair costs are much higher. However, as the secondhand market was gradually growing, fraud involving these secondhand items also started. And after this, the story shifts to a college student. Actually, this guy posted online yesterday. He wants to sell his brand new iMac, and at a very low price too. Now many people were interested in buying it from him. Many of them had sent messages. But this guy thinks that since I'm going to sell it anyway, why not sell it to a girl? So he can meet her, and if he's lucky, something might happen. So when he was checking the messages, he could see that all guys had messaged him. This made him quite frustrated. But then his attention fell on the last message, which was sent by a girl, and as soon as he saw this, he quickly started replying to her. He tells her that since he can't go out with the iMac, would she prefer to come to his house? Then this girl takes his address and agrees to come to his house herself. And she also tells him that if everything is okay, she will pay cash and buy the iMac right then. And then on the other side, we can see Hyan, who worked at an interior design company. Actually, she was the team leader of that company. But when she went to work today, she could see that her team members hadn't completed the work properly. After seeing this, she got very angry. Because she knew very well that due to her team members' mistakes, she would have to answer to the authorities. Besides, Hyan's boss Kim always kept scolding her for various reasons. Actually, today too he was scolding her a lot because her team had made a wrong installation. Hyan first apologized to him, and then she tells him that since she had shifted to a new apartment yesterday, she took leave yesterday to shift her stuff, and in the meantime, her team made this wrong installation. But then her boss tells her, "Did I tell you to take leave? Now who will pay the penalty for this wrong installation?" Now after hearing all this, before Hyan could say something, her boss tells her, "Now you will have to pay the penalty for this. The entire amount will be deducted from your salary." Now Hyan realizes her mistake and agrees to the salary deduction. But she absolutely couldn't tolerate the fact that her boss wasn't scolding her like a professional, but was trying to humiliate her personally, like calling her by her name. After leaving the office, when she was talking with her colleague tells her that since you're a bit too naive, the boss always scolds you. Besides, I think the boss likes you too. That's why he wants to talk to you under some excuse or another. But all these things seem ridiculous to Hyan. Because if someone likes her, why would they always scold her? Later, while going by car, Hyan tells her colleague that yesterday when she was shifting apartments, her washing machine got damaged by mistake. Now the cost to repair it would be about 500,000 won. With this money, she could buy a new one. So her colleague also advises her to get a second-hand washing machine. She tells her, "I got a second-hand rice cooker a few days ago, which is performing very well. So you can also get a second-hand one if you want." So Hyan really likes this idea too. But just then, her boss Kim calls her and tells her that since her work isn't completely finished, she will have to work all night today. And then on the other side, we can see that college student getting ready very nicely. Because a girl was coming to buy his iMac. But his heart breaks when he sees a guy standing in front of the door. He says that he is her brother. Since she was a bit busy, she sent him today instead. Now feeling very disappointed, he completes the iMac deal with this guy. But instead of paying money, this guy pulls out a knife and kills the student. Then this student's friend was messaging him on his phone, asking how the date was going, whether that girl had come. Then this killer takes his mobile and replies that the date is going very well. "Now I'm going to Busan with her. I'll talk to you when I get back." Meanwhile, Hyan's boss forces her to work until night. But when she was working at night, she gets very scared seeing a cockroach. And just then her boss Kim comes here with some cold drinks. And they both sit down and start drinking the cold drinks. And during the conversation, Hyan tells her boss about the washing machine that got damaged. So her boss tells her, "I was an engineer. So this is child's play for me. If you want, I can fix your machine." And a little later, when Kim goes to Hyan's house and tries to fix her washing machine, even after trying for a long time, he couldn't fix the washing machine at all. So he tells her that since I'm a civil engineer and this is an electric product, I might not be able to fix it. After hearing all this, Hyan also tells him, "Okay, thank you for your help. I don't think this will work with you." And when Kim comes out from there, he was looking at Hyan's flat in a very strange way. Meanwhile, the psycho serial killer makes that boy's room his hideout. He starts selling all his stuff in the secondhand market, including his iMac. And the washing machine that was in that boy's room, its advertisement reaches Soo-hyun. When Soo-hyun sees a product at such a low price, she quickly pays in advance and buys it, and also sends her home address. In the evening, when the washing machine arrives at her house, during installation, the mechanic informs her that this washing machine is completely damaged. So Soo-hyun gets extremely angry. When she tries to message that guy, she can see that guy's ID has disappeared from the app. So Soo-hyun clearly understands that she has been the victim of a massive fraud. Later, when Soo-hyun comes to this app's office with a written complaint, the people there tell her, "Okay, we're looking into this matter. We'll need 3 to 4 months. But then Soo-hyun asks them, "It will take you 3 to 4 months just to catch one person? Then when will I get my money back?" But then the guy tells her, "No, it will take 3 to 4 months not to catch that person, but to start the process." After hearing this, Soo-hyun clearly understands that actually nothing will be done here. Later, when she shares these matters with her coworker tells her that actually, before buying the rice cooker, I was scammed 3 to 4 times like this. After hearing this, Soo-hyun gets very angry. She tells her, "Why didn't you tell me this before? You were saying that what you bought is working very well. You also advised me to buy one. That's why I became a victim of this scam." After this, finally Soo-hyun is forced to buy a new washing machine. If she had bought a new one earlier, maybe she wouldn't have had to endure so much trouble. But since the delivery of the new washing machine was 2 days later, for these 2 days she had to go to the laundromat to wash clothes. And when she was returning home from the laundromat, the plastic bag tears on the road, causing all the clothes to fall on the street. And a student from behind, after seeing all this, walks away laughing. After seeing all this, Soo-hyun's mood becomes very bad. We can see that at this point in life, Soo-hyun was feeling very upset. So she gets very angry at that scammer because of whom she's in this condition today. So finally she makes a decision. She will take revenge on him in any way. After this, Soo-hyun tries her best and finally finds that guy's ID. And she discovers that guy was repeatedly changing his name and posting ads in different places to sell his products. So Soo-hyun goes and comments under his products, saying don't buy his products at all. These are all damaged products and he is a fraud. After making this comment, she feels a bit satisfied because finally she was able to save some innocent people who might have been victims of fraud in the future. But then we can see that the scammer had set up quite well at that student's house, from where he was selling all of that student's belongings one by one. And then his attention fell on the message that Soo-hyun had made. After seeing this, his head got really heated up. He was thinking, how could this girl do this work? So he messaged her ID and asked her to delete the comment. And he told her that if you don't delete it, then I'll do something to you that you've never even dreamed of. But Soo-hyun didn't care about this matter at all. She told him back that fine, whatever you want you can do, I'll also see what happens. Actually, I've already complained to the police. Very soon they'll take you to jail. And after hearing this, that guy said fine. Then now you see what I can do to you. After this, the next morning when Soo-hyun goes to the office, she hears her bosses scolding as usual. Then she comes to the restaurant and starts eating with her coworker. But right then Soo-hyun's phone starts getting call after call. Actually, each call had different people asking her if she was giving away her washing machine for free, right? But after hearing these, Soo-hyun got a bit more shocked. She kept saying no to all of them repeatedly. And then she logged into her ID and could see that someone had listed her washing machine with her name and number on that site. That's why she kept getting calls. Now after enduring all this, when she comes back home in the evening, she decides to rest a bit here. Because today was a very tiring day for her. But this was just the beginning because what was about to happen to her next, she probably never even imagined. Because shortly after, the doorbell rings. And opening the door, she can see a delivery boy has brought some food. She was telling him that I didn't order any food. But the delivery boy tells her, but the food was ordered from this number. And this address was also given. When he shows the number, then Soo-hyun can see it was her own number. And then one by one, more delivery boys come who had brought various products. After seeing this, Soo-hyun clearly understands that she might have mistakenly messed with some psycho. So the next morning when she goes to the office, she puts up a note in front of her house, saying please don't deliver any products here. After this, when Soo-hyun comes to the police station to complain about this matter, the officer tells her that whoever is pranking you and whoever scammed you, those two might be different people. because I don't think there's any connection between them. And we can see Officer Ju was discussing this matter with his junior officer, Na, about how online product-based scam reports are coming in very frequently these days. But later, to check this again, Ju comes to that boy's house, from whose house all the calls were being made everywhere. And talking with the landlord, he finds out that this flat belongs to a college student, who hasn't been coming to his room for many days. So he asks him for the key. He says that I want to go inside the room and check. But the landlord directly refuses him, because doing so might make that student very angry. That's why Officer Ju was forced to take that student's number from the landlord and forward it to his junior officer Na, so that he could find out his call history. And meanwhile, when Hyan comes back to her flat, she can see that the notice she had put up in front of the door for delivery men has somehow disappeared. So she gets extremely scared and comes down from there. A little later, we can see police officers also arrive here. And after checking the CCTV footage, they can also see the scammer's car. But there was no number plate here. So the police ask the manager here why cameras are only installed inside the building. Why aren't there cameras in front of the flats? Then the manager tells them that the flat owners themselves refused to install cameras in front of the flats. That's why cameras weren't installed there. And right then, outside the apartment, delivery boys come to deliver various products. After seeing these, the police quickly go and send them away from there. And they assure Hyan by saying that somehow they will catch that scammer. But they also didn't know how they would do this. After this, that night Hyan talks with her co-worker in her room until very late. But when it's time for her to leave, Hyan tells her please stay the night with me. But her co-worker says that if I stay the night with you today, then my husband will start thinking something else. So when she leaves from there by car, from a distance we can see a delivery boy. Actually, this delivery boy was no one else. This was that scammer. After this, the next morning when Hyan was trying to come out of her room, she can see a man in front. After seeing whom she gets quite scared. But that man says that, "Ma'am, I've come to install CCTV cameras. The police officers sent me." After this, when she comes back to the office, Hyan was talking with her mother. Here her mother was asking her about shifting to a new flat. She was saying if everything is okay. Then Hyan tells her I've already shifted to the new flat. But now a new tension has come up. And then she starts talking with her mother about various things. But during this conversation, her mother tells her that I want to install a new AC in the house. But the credit card isn't working. Can you send me some money? Later when the credit card gets fixed, I'll pay you back. And so when Hyan was about to pay through the link, she gets suspicious about something before paying. So she again asks her mother how's dad, how is he doing? Then her mother says your father has gone to work. But then Hyan replies saying, but he died many years ago. And so Hyan understands this matter very well, that this is actually not her mother. This is that scammer. And the scammer also replies to her saying that I didn't have time to inquire about your father, because I was so busy talking with your mother. And from this Hyan also understands that this scammer has really reached her mother, meaning now he is at her village home. After this, that night when Hyan was sleeping in her flat, suddenly a man was trying to forcefully enter the room. But fortunately Hyan had locked the door from inside, which is why he couldn't come inside despite trying, otherwise he would have easily entered. This man tells her from distance that your boyfriend sent me to you. He was saying that you apparently love sleeping with different people. That's why he sent me here. After hearing these things, Hyan gets more scared. And she starts calling the police in panic. But by now that man leaves from there. And then that scammer messages Hyan saying that if you want all these things to stop, then quickly send me 5 million won. You have 5 minutes for this. You can think for 5 minutes. Now about all these matters, Hyun starts thinking that if she gives him 5 million won, will everything stop? If it doesn't stop, if he starts asking for money again. While thinking like this, the 5 minutes end. And another man comes to her door again. He was trying to forcefully break the door and come inside. But then fortunately, Officer Ju comes and gives that guy a good beating and arrests him. And later during interrogation, that guy says that on a website selling old stuff, he got this girl's house address and her house PIN code, where her boyfriend was saying that my girlfriend is probably there, you can do whatever you want with her. After hearing this, Officer Ju gives this guy a good beating and asks him where his common sense went. A guy told you something and you came running here. Meanwhile, that scammer starts sending all the small memories and information about Hyun from her childhood till now. He starts sending everything one by one. He was trying to prove that he knows everything about Hyun. And after seeing all this, Soo-hyun becomes very scared. So the next morning, she comes and requests Officer Ju to go and investigate that guy's house. Because everything is coming from there. But the officer tells her that he can't search that house without permission. So Soo-hyun asks him, "Do I have to spend my whole life like this? Will I spend my life in fear?" And when the officer understands her condition, he takes her to check that guy's house. And forces the landlord to open his room. He was saying that maybe that guy might be missing. And when the landlord opens the door, they can see the whole room is empty. I mean, we understand that scammer had sold everything one by one. But then they see a fridge was still lying there which hadn't been sold. So when the landlord becomes curious and opens that fridge, he can see inside was the dead body of that student boy, the owner of this flat. After seeing this, Officer Ju was completely shocked. Because until now they thought he was just a fraudster, but he was actually a serial killer too. And gradually this whole place becomes a crime scene. And some police teams also come here. And after seeing all this, Soo-hyun becomes very upset. Because she was thinking how her life got turned upside down because of one comment. Now while investigating this case, the police come to another girl whose name was Hyan. Actually, this girl's case was somewhat similar to Soo-hyun's. Actually, she had ordered something from a website that sells old stuff. I mean, the scammer had scammed her. So getting angry, she went to the scammer's comment and said all sorts of things. I mean, she warned everyone about this. And because of this, her life completely turned 360 degrees. Actually, that scammer later sent various food delivery boys to her house. And at night, he would also send various perverts to her house. But even after doing all this, he didn't calm down. One day, he even came there to kill her. And in all these incidents, this girl went into such trauma that till now she is still in that trauma. And here, this girl also tells the police that that scammer sometimes pretended to be a girl and talked to various people, so that people would give him a little more priority. Also, when he failed to kill her, he would sometimes sneak into her house and steal various things. And now we can see all these things have started happening to Soo-hyun as well. Like her clothes were disappearing from her house. Various food packets would be lying around the house. But when she would check the CCTV footage, nothing would be found there. Anyway, now on one side, when her life condition had become very bad, then on the other side, her office condition had become very bad. Her team wouldn't listen to anything she said. Her boss would always scold her. In all these matters, she had become very annoyed. But then her friend cum coworker starts helping her in these matters. After that, one night, Soo-hyun's boss Kim comes to her house. Actually, he came here after hearing about those threats. And now he was trying to force his way in to give protection. But now Soo-hyun is so scared that she doesn't want to let anyone come inside because she herself doesn't know who that killer is and who might attack her at any time. Although here, the boss admits that he likes Soo-hyun, that's why he always scolds her to talk to her. But Soo-hyun doesn't want to let him come inside. And here, the way the boss was behaving, his behavior was no less than a psycho's. So now that scammer had harassed Soo-hyun so much that Soo-hyun fell sick. So she had to be hospitalized. She took many days off from work so that she could somehow escape from that scammer. But after that, when she was coming back home from the hospital, the scammer calls her and says, "If you want all this to stop, you can give me 10 million won, then I'll stop everything." But after hearing this, Soo-hyun tells him that if I give you the money and you don't stop this, then what will happen? Then he says, "Yes, if you give me money, I will definitely stop it. And if you accept this deal, you won't share this matter with the police at all, otherwise this deal will be cancelled. And now turn off your phone for now." So Soo-hyun quickly turns off her phone. So when Officer Ju calls Soo-hyun, her phone wasn't connecting at all. So he comes to her house to supervise, to observe everything. But interestingly, suddenly a delivery man breaks his car glass and attacks him, and despite his best efforts, that delivery man knocks him unconscious. So when Officer Na calls Officer Ju's phone, his call wasn't connecting. So he also starts running this way. Meanwhile, that scammer starts going towards Soo-hyun's house. But then boss Kim, who was hiding there, comes and attacks him. He says, "I think you also like her. But I like her a little more. So please, psycho, get out of here." But this psycho grabs him and beats him so badly that it was unspeakable. After that, this scammer enters Soo-hyun's house through her house code. And here for the first time, Soo-hyun and we can see that man's face. Actually, this man was the guy who installed the CCTV camera. Actually, he played a brilliant game. Through the CCTV camera footage, he also saw Soo-hyun's house code. Also, since he himself installed the camera, he could also edit this camera footage. That's why the police couldn't understand who was entering and leaving this house, when and from where. Anyway, now the scammer kidnaps Soo-hyun, and when he was trying to take her away by car, Officer Na comes in front of him. So he starts following him by car. Then Officer Ju regains consciousness. So he also starts following him. And a long chase happens between them. Here we can see the scammer using technique causes Officer Na's car to have an accident, where Officer Na dies tragically, and Soo-hyun and that scammer were also seriously injured. But by the time Officer Ju reaches Soo-hyun, that scammer had disappeared from there. And since only Soo-hyun had seen that scammer's face, they try to make a sketch through her. But after going through such a horrible traumatic experience, Soo-hyun couldn't remember that man's exact face. On the other hand, Officer Ju was in deep trauma because of Officer Na's death, because they were best friends. So he couldn't accept this at all. And since disturbing Soo-hyun had stopped for some days, the senior officers decided they would shut down this case. Because now since there's no activity happening, it means maybe that scammer is dead, and there's no point in keeping such a case open. But we can see Officer Ju after all this happening, he didn't want to stop here at all. So Officer Ju makes a plan with Soo-hyun and her coworker. Actually, that scammer had an obsession. He would sell various secondhand products, enter people's houses and try to scam them. So they created a fake ID in her coworker's name, and from this ID they posted about buying secondhand products, which could be a perfect target for that scammer. And then they start buying various kinds of secondhand products, just hoping that they would definitely get some order from that scammer. And doing this, finally they buy a product from a girl. Actually, though that ID belonged to a girl. But a guy came pretending to be her brother. And since only Soo-hyun had seen his face, she could recognize him as soon as she saw him from a distance. However, since Soo-hyun had completely changed her look, the scammer couldn't recognize her anymore. So he slowly started falling into their trap. Soo-hyun now goes into her room and tells him to wait outside while she checks his music system. If everything looks good, she'll come out and pay him. So after going inside, Soo-hyun quickly calls the officer and informs him about everything. Because the officer was following them from a distance. But just then, the scammer comes from behind, grabs Soo-hyun, and tries to knock her unconscious. Actually, this scammer was always one step ahead of them, because he already knew about all the planning. So he starts beating up Soo-hyun. But then he hears some noise from inside. So when the scammer goes inside to check, Soo-hyun uses a technique to keep him inside and locks the door from outside. But this scammer was so strong that he breaks the glass and comes out. And he catches Soo-hyun before she can escape. But then Officer Ju arrives and attacks him. And a terrible fight breaks out between the two of them. At one point, the officer takes him and jumps straight down from above. So both of them get seriously injured. But still, this scammer was alive until now. And when he was trying to kill Officer Ju at the last moment, Soo-hyun comes and with Officer Ju's help, finally kills this scammer. So she gets very scared and starts crying here. Although Soo-hyun was mentally happy that she finally killed the scammer who had destroyed her life. But she was also terrified about this thing, because she had committed murder with her own hands. Anyway, after this, we're shown a scene from a few months later. We can see that now Soo-hyun's life had become much better than before. And everything had become normal. How to deal with her team, she had now learned those things. But she tells us that actually, that serial killer whom I killed with my own hands a few days ago, who used to target different people, go to their homes, kill them, and sell all their belongings in the second-hand market to make profit from them. But while killing him, an honest police officer died. But even after all this happened, looking at the situation now, I don't think the scamming with second-hand products that I fell victim to has stopped. And through these words, we understand that even though one scammer has died, it doesn't mean that no other scammer will come. But it's also true that if a serial killer comes again, maybe such a brave police officer will face him again, and maybe some brave person will also have to face him. And with such a beautiful message, this entire movie ends here.